Okay. Okay. Thanks. You do. Yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, everybody. This is Bridge3Labs. I'm with our focus here with Danksy and FG and I believe Rotes and some of the other founders here. We're all here. Most of us are in our community Discord that we can see here. Appreciate y'all being here. This is just kind of a little quick broadcast we're doing here today. Thanks for everybody being here. Once again, we're here with some members, and we're here with co-founders here. Specifically, we have FG for Loco here with us, and we also have Danksy and some of our other team members like Rotes. And I think we're all just going to kind of possibly talk about the market and kind of maybe a little bit about Bridge3Labs and everything else just going on.
Yeah, for sure. I think, I mean, normally we have coffee spaces right now, but I think we're just going to run this if the time slot is open. We'll stream on Twitter and YouTube, I think, and Discord as well. So let's just try it out.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll jump right into it. Okay. So definitely here with as Bridge3Labs, we are Web3 Venture Studio. But we also are, heavily interested being traders and investors. So I thought we could maybe just glance at the market here real fast. We're looking at Bitcoin. We have here on a 15-minute time frame. Obviously, kind of retracing here today. If we were to actually move here, and let's just look at some daily levels. We're kind of back here. At our almost daily, weekly, just under really this what was served as weekly resistance here in the past. So really, just something to pay attention to. Really, where we're at, this 61,000, really about 400 or 61,450 is definitely an important level. You can see, we can see here in the past. Obviously, we've we've been using some of this really just I'm sorry. Really, just the 60,000, about 200, or just say $60,000 area on Bitcoin. We've definitely had some longs getting flushed. We can see even with these daily wicks here. But looking for something, these are some things like I think we were talking about even yesterday. Looking at some outflows with Bitcoin on ETFs and with the whole anticipation of the Ethereum ETF launch coming. Up and some of the inflows into that. And again, when we look at something like an ETH to BTC pair, it's obvious. Again, we can see the strength in Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin. This is on not on a daily chart. This is on a 4-hour chart. So you can see that we are kind of starting to form a nice trend here. And we typically I like to say at least that the trend is our friend until it's not. So we, as looking at this purely as investment, even speculation, this shows us that Ethereum as an asset is clearly outperforming Bitcoin here. Really here, kind of mid-June is where kind of the start of this and where we're at now. And looking at past levels, just to give us reference, you can see we've actually been higher than this level. Back in May was the most recent time. And then if we were to really even try to look further, back in March, in early March, we were at 0.06. So to kind of give you a reference from where that is now, we're at 0.05, but let's just kind of see on a scale, in about 8 to 10% higher back in March. If this kind of goes along to play, we could expect to even possibly look at something even much higher. if that's where the market hopefully finds value for something like this. And we were at, just for reference, back in 2022, kind of at the end of the last run, as high as 0.08.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like an interesting time in the market. And Ayo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because up until 2 days ago, right, everyone was extremely negative, that we were gonna go lower, et cetera, et cetera. And the truth is, when you look at Bitcoin per se, you're right. It hasn't really moved much. It's been hovering around 60 to 62,000. We had some good news, but at the same time, you have some kind of like tailwinds on the short term future, right? And one of them is the U.S. government. I think apparently just got an approval to sell about 4,000 Bitcoin, right? I think they sent that to Coinbase. I just was reading an article this morning, and so it looks like Bitcoin is going to hover around this area, but I don't think it goes much lower. I'm not going to buy into all these TA that we see on the timeline that is going to go lower. I think we're very close. If not, we already have found the bottom on Bitcoin, at least for the for the time being. And then Ethereum is in an interesting space, right? Because when you think about it, like they just approved the ETF, right? And as you mentioned, right, that should bring up some excitement, at least speculation, until that starts trading, right? So we should see the dominance in BTC to go down, as you were mentioning. But now we just got Solana ETF being filed by NEC, right? Which is going to steal. It's kind of like stealing the thunder, right? So I don't know what is going to happen with Ethereum. I really hope that it continues to go up until the ETF kind of like starts trading, and perhaps even further. But now it looks like the spotlight is back in Solana. Not only they keep innovating with a bunch of things, but now it looks like they're pushing for an ETF. So definitely it's going to be interesting to see. Even if we keep this range for a couple of months on Bitcoin, we are already seeing some altcoins come back to life, right? Whether it's like AI, the L1s and L2 moving up as well, which is interesting. Maybe, just maybe, we don't need Bitcoin all-time highs to see activity across chains that we all were expecting, right? Everyone is like, oh, until Bitcoin doesn't hit 80 to 100,000, the altcoin market is going to be dead. I am not so sure anymore. So we'll see what happens, but it looks like there's a lot of capital on the sidelines. It's just waiting to deploy for the right opportunity.
Yeah, excellent. Well said. Yeah, I think you're right on with Bitcoin and there being other opportunities and not being fearful at all. And yeah, we've really seen some altcoins here really, especially today, really take a run for it. I know for a fact. Even some of these memes as well. I know some of these names really stand out. I've seen some definitely Michi and Popcat mentioned before a few times.
Yeah, I call them the Fantastic Four. Right? It looks like I have them on my short list, and they're my largest positions in the meme coin space. And I've had it for a while. Dogwood hat is up. I believe above 2.2 billion. I can't remember. You can probably look at the chart. But then, Michi is up like, I believe like 50, 60%.
Yeah.
Popcat is close to all time. Yeah. And then the only coin I really like on Ethereum, well, there's two. I like Trump and I like Mog. So those two are the ones that I've been following the closest. And yeah, so far so good, man. We'll see if this is a short-term rally or if it actually comes with some more fireworks. But I think it's very important that we pay attention to the close this week. If we have a positive close this week, I think next week we can have fireworks. It can be very positive for the space. But we'll see.
Right. Okay. Well, very well said, and thank you for sharing all that. This guy's been right on. I have to give big credit with some of the early on Michi vision and commitment you have had. It's been nice to really see paying off, and it.
I mean, look, I don't know if it's been 100% right, but but you kind of like have to follow the communities, right? And I think that's one of the strongest ones. And you have to really understand that this is completely left curve. There's not really any investment advice or any investment thesis that I have, except for that memetics really work on, you know, when things go viral, right? When things are spread by thousands of people. And so I saw that early on Dub with Hat. I saw it on Michi. Popcut, I never really saw that much, but I know that they have a diehard community, a bunch of whales backing it up, which is very powerful, as you can see.
Right.
And then Mog, it's also another very strong community on Ethereum. So those are my bets so far. I have a smaller meme coins that we can discuss later on in Discord, but not worth mentioning. There's just the market is not strong enough for me to be throwing names out there. At least that's how I see it. But
right.
But yeah.
So,
what are you looking at in the market?
Well, I was definitely interested in the meme coins. Recently, they caught my attention to see doing so well. And then with a lot of I was looking quite a bit at some of the liquid staking. I thought LSDs were doing pretty well, especially Rocket Pool and a few others. We can look at that possibly. And I'm sorry, I just wanted to bring up if you want to possibly hear about some of this. Some of these other ones we've kind of touched on today, like be sure and go to Bridge3Labs IO or just follow the Twitter account, and you can find out more information, kind of how to come join us and be a part of all these conversations more often. But yeah, obviously I'm looking at just even a list right here of top gainers and some of these that you mentioned. IO's been doing well. I've seen stuff even in the news more recently, and some other AI baskets of coins that have been doing quite well, I thought too. Just looking at sectors here, we can see here that, let me see here what I like. Pith. I mean, Pith has not like been a huge performer, but I'm glad that it seems to. I've seen more and more. Pith kind of acts like an oracle, right? Like similar to Chainlink, but being on Solana. But I've been starting to see more and more actual, what I'd call real world uses out, like actual API data and feeds, even on with stock prices and integration into TradingView. So. I like anything I see with value. We'd have to look at to see actually at fees and what they're actually generating as far as revenue. But I like that. I'm still on the fence on Toncoin. I'm just it might be my bias with Telegram, but I think it's really been interesting. The ease of use and what they've done with bringing crypto into, and I mean credit them as well with probably new adopters, even just through Telegram, So,
what do you need to see, Io, for you to be bullish on Toncoin? What would convince you?
See, and it's more my I don't feel like it's real. I mean, I'd have to go. We could probably even look at I don't know, other statistics. I'd be more widespread adoption here, especially in North America. I still don't think it's as popular as it is per se in Europe and things like that. And then it doesn't necessarily have to be, right? But when I look at just in general, you look at geomaps of investment, right? Investment capital, or even tokenized real world assets. It's still a large majority. I mean, of it comes out of definitely out of North America, and so just with that, I mean, for example, Binance obviously has been very successful, and BNB chain and what they've done with that, is not something to be faded, but I feel like a lot of projects and a lot of things done on BNB is kind of been viewed through a certain lens, and I see the same thing kind of with Ton, but I think just more time, I guess. Is that's all. I mean, it's one thing to make fun bots, or integrate little Chat GPT plugin bots, but like I'd want to see um, larger development, I guess, of more kind of complex. I don't know how you could integrate into the actual, the ID, the ecosystem of such a thing, because of Telegram being I mean, it has such great advantages being mobile based, right? Easy to be in people's hands, and everybody's got a phone these days. But I think that can be limiting a little bit too. I'm sure that they could easily, move to a more, not just outside of a mobile platform. That's what I'm trying to say, to, some web based portal or whatnot. But I want to see more of that, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Let's see. But I think their timing's right. It's perfect for meme, with meme coins and all that stuff that's going on, and especially, quick, easy, gambling, things like that. I mean, it's also really popular messaging service too. So I mean, why not integrate payments? I mean, it makes sense. But
yeah, no, I'd argue that it's kind of like a misunderstood chain, at least for Westerns, right? It really had a big. I mean, they have a big presence in Asia, as well as in other undeveloped areas, like in underdeveloped areas like Africa and etc. Right? You have a ton of users. It's cheap. It's easily integratable. So we'll see. I agree. The valuation FDV is kind of like. I'm worried about it. I have a position on Ton. I haven't really been adding, but it's something to definitely pay attention to, right? And I think Solana is really trying to catch up to the same amount of users. I mean, if you see what they're building, Solana is nonstop building, right? That's why I'm the most bullish on that chain and everything they're doing. I don't know if Io or anyone here has taken a look at Blinks that is coming up, but it's a game changer, IMO. You can literally just make payments within the same app. You don't really need to exit to or go to other websites. If you are a content creator or a company and you have an NFT or you have a product, etc., you literally just post it on X. They only have integration with X right now, but they plan to integrate with other apps. And so essentially, if you're selling an NFT, a product or service, etc., you can literally just post that. It's coming up, that Blinks link, and it just literally pops up your wallet.
Oh wow!
Now this comes with a lot of like pros and cons, right? Pros and cons. Cons might be security, right? You want to be careful, but at the same time, you still have the two-step confirmation, right? You have to see that the transaction is good, and then you have to confirm in your wallet. So it just saves a ton of time, and it makes things so easy, right? It's just like you are removing transaction fees from third-party providers. You are saving a ton of time, keeping your followers on your timeline. There's a ton of benefits. So I'm excited to see that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So right now, that does look. They're talking about, enhancing, improve accessibility Web3 application. Yeah, I see screenshots of, apparently, I guess, some testing and directly integrating into.
Yeah,
that's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. You don't need to go to the actual website. You can use it on your phone. You don't need to be on a desktop. It's just they keep making things easier and easier for people to really join blockchain. I mean, setting up a Phantom wallet takes seconds, right? So and you can do it on your phone, right? So it's going to disrupt. I mean, it already has disrupted the DeFi space, but I think it's going to to even be bigger, right? And so I think they're gonna competing with Telegram, right? Because Telegram also has a massive user user base.
Yeah. It's just saying, kind of, looking at Ton's success and ability to reach 900 million users. Blinks and its action on Solana chain is to transfer funds on Telegram. Yeah, basically to try and to do something similar by reaching. Wow.
But before we go into NFTs and meme coins, I wanted to, and anyone that wants to chime in, I don't know if you've done. I know you do every day your kind of like daily update on macro and U.S. equities, but I mean, there's some crazy things happening too in the macro space. A couple of leap options on Tesla and Palo Alto Networks and other, and these things just keep going up, man. So I mean, how are you seeing the market? Do you think the stock market here takes a break? How are you seeing the whole macro equities before we get into NFTs and meme coins, which is really our playground, pretty much?
Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, I've been impressed. Yeah, and it's been running and running. Um, we were even looking. There was a few even Bitcoin miner stocks that when I was meeting with some members earlier this week, that we were looking at that we were just really running. I was surprised to see. Um, but when I was looking at like sectors, it seems still like the technology sector, of course, doing very very well. Um, and believe too, I was looking not commodities. I'm sorry, looking at the communication sector. Seemed to be doing, I thought, pretty well. Talking about general baskets. When it comes to like commodities, right? I'm more less experienced on that, but like obviously, with uncertainty still, and taking places, especially specifically, I guess, over there in the Middle East and things like that. I think probably that makes the commodity game a little bit more speculative, and better maybe when you to look at things like options and things like that to possibly hedge some of that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that kind of where I'm at with that. Um, and then the other big question I've seen or been getting a lot is just around Nvidia, right? And what can it maintain and everything else, and the only risk I speculate with, I would think with that is, I think where being a Taiwan based um, chip manufacturer,
Yeah.
and China's going to come knocking again someday.
Yeah, no, I've seen a ton of like, I mean, there's a lot of pressure of, and also investment on, U.S. based companies to start manufacturing chips. Now it's going to take time, right? So Nvidia has a large advantage, and I think they're going to keep that for the next, maybe 1, 2, 3 years to come. But I keep seeing more and more investment on U.S. companies so that they can manufacture chips here, because the tension in Taiwan and there is, I really don't know what's going to happen there, but it's just too risky, that geopolitical risk for for at least for the U.S. as an economy to have such a large part of their stock market, right? It's this massive. I mean, like 20% of the S&P 500 or something like that, 25%. I don't know. It's something stupidly high. So when you think about it, like even if it takes a dip here and there, I think it's healthy, because you're seeing even like other companies like Amazon hit 2 trillion market cap, right? So it's like it's not just Nvidia. The whole tech sector is. Tesla just hit 200, or it was very close to hit $200, which it hasn't done so in 4 or 5 months, right? So I think the whole tech and equity sector is kind of like pricing in what's coming up with the elections. And tonight, we have the first debate. So I think we should make some bets. Should we make some bets on what's going to happen tonight? Something interesting.
I already made some bets on Polymarket.
What you got?
Let me see. I'll send it in the Discord. I have Trump will say crypto or Bitcoin. I bought it at 41 cents. It's now at 30% gain there. I said Biden will say shut up. 17 cents to 20 cents. 18% gain. And then I have the debate actually today getting canceled.
No way.
Whoa. Okay.
Really?
At 1 cent. At 1 cent. So I'm gonna make like $300 on $2 or something. If you can see on the Discord.
Okay, so that's. I mean, yeah, they can always make an excuse, but I thought Trump wanted Biden to do a drug test, like both of them. That would have been interesting.
I think they're both on drugs anyways, so I don't think that would help.
Let's look at these.
We'll see,
Biden
man.
drops out of the debate. Yeah, no, I see that. Okay. Wow.
I mean, like, I they could drop out. Like, it's not, they're old as shit, so like.
Okay, but
Yeah, but if they're not
how about this one? Trump and Biden shake hands at first debate.
They didn't shake
There's
hands.
no
They never
way.
shook hands. He doesn't even shake Hillary's hand that time.
He has to hold to a rail or the table, otherwise he will fall. He can't shake hands.
Right? They were
Yeah.
talking about letting Joe Biden sit down. Like, he couldn't stand for the full 90 minutes.
Will Biden poop his pants during the debate? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Is that real?
That's real. There's
25,000
pooled in that. Will Biden? Wow.
Okay, Danksy. So how much do you have in tonight's bet?
It's like probably like $50. I have a big bet on popular vote on Donald Trump.
Yeah, like he's gonna win the debate. You mean?
He's gonna win? No, like for the election. I have only $50 for today.
Yeah, I'm interested in today. I mean, what happens in October, November? That's too far out. Crypto Degens won results today.
I honestly think the crypto Bitcoin one is like I think it's a sure win. Like both. Yeah. I think he's gonna be like. He's going to say something about Bitcoin being in America, or like mining Bitcoin in America, or like controlling crypto in America. And then
Bitcoin made in America. That was the fun one.
Yeah.
Bitcoin made in America.
Well, look at this.
If you go to
what will Trump say during the first debate? One of them is crypto/Bitcoin. 52%. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one I bet on.
Right here. So yeah, guys. Right.
Yeah. If you click through it, you can see. I mean, it was a steal at 41 cents. It's now at 51. So it's like a 50-50 at this point.
I'm gonna have to play some bets.
Oh,
Rhodes,
69 cents.
Are you here?
Yes.
Are you into
wow. This one. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, I don't know if Rhodes is here listening, but if he is, I want to know if he's betting also on tonight's debate.
Polymarket's so easy to use.
I'm not betting on the debates, but I will be tuning in probably for the first time ever, to be honest. So I am typically, as a Canadian, a little less engaged in what's going on in the U.S. politics, but I think this year, above all, is just so interesting, exciting, and the state of Biden is questionable at best. So very curious to see how that goes.
Well, even if you're not interested for the politics, right? You always have some sort of like vested interest when it comes to crypto, right? Whether it's meme coins, or even like majors, right? Like whatever Trump says tonight might pop, Bitcoin 2%. Who knows, right? It might be. Why not? This guy has a ton of right, and a bunch of their investors and people that invested in his race, right, for presidency, invested in Bitcoin, right? I think the Winkle Bros or whatever, those guys, they put in like $2 million worth of Bitcoin on his campaign. And so that's going to be interesting too, and see if Biden has raised any crypto. That would be interesting, because I thought he opened up a wallet, right? Or like some sort of he mentioned that he also wanted to join the fundraise with crypto, which it would be pretty funny and interesting to see if he actually raised anything from crypto native individuals.
Yeah, that would.
If Biden is opening a wallet, I'm sending him some Tornado Cash ETH. For
no,
sure.
Biden not. Like the actual his team. He can't even tie up his shoes. So
yeah, that's funny. And real quick, Rhodes, for any of y'all listening, Rhodes TV is another analyst and team member with Bridge3Labs. You can find him on X at RhodesDB. I actually have him up here on the screen. Just shout out real quick.
Thanks much.
Yeah, Rhodes. how are you seeing the market, man? I mean, obviously, volume down since the farmers left, right? There's no more farmers on Blur and Blast. Volume down, but NFT prices a little bit up. How are you seeing it?
Yeah, it's you nail it, right? It's this Blur liquidity seems to be drying up. I think if it fully dries up, we are likely to see, maybe a short term cycle of a bit of down pressure, right? So these farmers are going to need to exit positions, or possibly will, right? So if they do that, you could see some pressure on some of the more heavily farmed collections. But once that pressure is relieved, or if it doesn't happen right away, I think NFTs are meant to be this asset that does not trade frequently. It's meant to be something that is a form of collectible, a form of ownership, identity, etc. And when we have NFTs operating in that facet, without these large volume of NFTs being sold to people that don't necessarily want to buy them and they're just farming for points, et cetera, et cetera. There was so much pressure on the market. So, where I see it ultimately with this Blur kind of ceasing is we're going to see the quality collections continue or begin to rise from this, and collections that have had a lot of downward pressure, et cetera. Apes, mutants could see a bit of a relief on it. Obviously, pudgy penguins are going to continue to perform and should do well. So, really looking forward to what the next few weeks looks like for NFTs. The water yet. Crypto, I think, is still the strong focus for many. But I think some of the pressure on the market is going to soften. Ordinals look really interesting. Even some of the NFT prices as well. Like I said, with a bit of risk of sell off from some of the farmers, they all seem to be at a pretty good level. I think the markets in general are actually at a really good level. This uncertainty of whether or not we're going up or down on Bitcoin and cryptos has put it at a point here that I still believe is really good value. We mentioned it and discussed it on Monday for the meme tokens, and they since rallied. Still not out of the water yet for Bitcoin, so there's still some hesitation here. Whether or not the next 3-4 days here play out and Bitcoin holds. If it doesn't, then we could be in for some more downward pressure, and things go from there. So as much as it's good to make these bets and play out and stuff like that, just be very cautious that there's a little bit more risk out there, both farmers dumping or Bitcoin losing its hold here. But optimistic on Blur being moved out, optimistic on Magic Eden becoming the main platform for NFTs, etc. Optimistic on Ordinals and some of the value that they present at the moment. So overall, I think there's some wins in the market that can be had. It's always interesting to see that counter move on Miladies. So if Miladies are performing well, then NFTs aren't, and NFTs are performing well, Miladies aren't. So that's always kind of this, almost like the kind of safety net, or kind of flight to safety when the markets are rough, which is kind of the most wild thing to think of. But yeah.
Have you heard much about their upcoming token airdrop, the Colt, I think it's called?
I have not. No.
Okay, because I believe part of they've always been like a counter, as you mentioned, like counter culture, right? And so I think that their floor doesn't really depend on utility or even market dynamics. I think they have such a strong group of believers, right? If you can call them, that they have held a very strong. I don't know if that's my own voice, but it looks like they've been holding that 4 to 5 ETH, I think, floor price for a while. Now I know that they are speculating, or part of it is like they have a meme coin or a coin launched by either the team or someone close to the team, that members of the Milady and Remilio community will get some airdrop allocation. So that's why maybe they are even performing better. But I don't know if you've heard anything about it.
Yeah, I always place them as like this kind of crypto-centric community, and that, in the meme, kind of really tied in on the meme coin section of it all, and really kind of the inner workings of what's going on there. So, whether it's airdrops, etc. And I think that's what kind of plays into their overall strength and success, is that they feel like they're the most crypto based project out of any of the NFTs, and with that they're holding to that market. And given the fact that the focus is on crypto and majors and all kinds of memes, then that's where they've seen that an interesting success. I do think actually we're probably at a really interesting point here for BTC dominance as well. You can kind of talked about it earlier with Solana and Ethereum and the ETS and that going well. I think we're at a point here where we're probably sliding into alt season, and then continued momentum in meme season here. So I think we're kind of almost moving into that next phase of the market, which NFTs are kind of the trail end of that. So all quite interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the whole Solana ecosystem is like booming today. I mean, Jupiter is up 8%. Solana is up 8% too. I mean, you have a bunch of other protocols within Solana Drift also doing well. Just the whole ecosystem in Solana is doing well. Even like non DePIN or DeFi related apps are doing well as well. And then NFTs. Do you track NFTs on Solana? I know there's not a lot of volume, but I know that particularly Mad Labs is up like 4 or 5% today. There's a couple of other NFTs doing fairly well, and I wonder if there's going to be a here like a in the short term is going to be like a NFT renaissance, if you want to call it, for Solana, right? Because we haven't really seen anything in a while on Solana NFTs. Have you?
No, and I would caution when it comes to Solana NFTs on going much beyond kind of those core 3 to 5 projects that exist in Solana. I think this is more positive for memes and overall section of it. I don't know if it really trails into NFTs totally, but Mad Lads has been a stable project and has done well there. You have secondary projects that to a degree have some interest, Forganas, DGods, Bodogos, that kind of side of things. But I don't know if you go much beyond that. Just given the whole kind of I think there's more attention, more upside on ordinals. I think Ethereum NFTs as well. They're down so significantly that the rally there, I think, might prove to be stronger. Solana is a great ecosystem overall, but where the focus is going to be, I think, overall is just meme tokens.
Yeah,
but I think overall it's positive, right? The attention is going to be good, and that's why you see these prices up. But I don't know if you see them move significantly.
Yeah, it looks like people have made their minds that Solana is the meme coin chain, right? And so we'll see. I think early in the year, when even meme coins were doing very well, we had a couple of projects launched, like not just Forganas, but we had Crypto Undeads and other ones, right? And so I do think we'll see another NFT cycle. I'm not sure if it's going to be as big as the 2021 cycle, but definitely it's coming up. I think people are also getting tired of just like kind of like buying and selling meme coins per se, because as much as it's a financial incentive, you are losing that. And say what you want, right? But there's no community building as strong as NFTs, right? Because with meme coins, you just have so many. You buy and sell here quickly and there, and I have never really made as many friends and connections in the space as when I join NFT communities, right? So I think that aspect of crypto, that NFTs bring, and now that there's no farmers, then the negative impact of farming and floor going down. I mean, we're already down like so much, right? And then I only see upside here for NFTs, right? Like, you're getting to a point where if something cool is being built, I think we can have another another season, if you want to call it, of NFTs, especially around chains that are not expensive and are fast to transact on. So that's how I see it. I don't know if it's going to come in the fall or winter, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Strong point about communities. I think definitely definitely, and who to say it better than founders, the people that have been in the space. But yeah, I think I found too in my experience, big advantage like NFT community is the actual like community, and then you obviously don't find that behind meme coins and maybe more rarely behind maybe tech projects, but that's going to be more of a niche thing type, so
yeah. So this question is for Rhodes or IO. Have you guys tried Moonshot, the new kind of like in-house launch pad for Dex Screener? Have you guys tried that one yet for meme coins?
I haven't tried it, but I have heard it, and I've heard it that it's even easier in a lot of ways than Pump.Fun, lower cost entry, etc. Maybe a little less polished, which is crazy considering Pump.Fun isn't necessarily the most polished either. But it's another avenue for meme coins and meme coin creation that I think is excellent, because these are culture coins, attention coins, and that in general, the more accessible they are, I think makes it just that much more degen and excellent to play around in space. So.
What was it called? I'm sorry.
So if you go into dextrainer.com, Dextrainer,
yep.
There's a section on the left where the chains are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're streaming your. I can't see your screen.
Hang on.
You're streaming it.
Yeah, I'll come back up to
yeah.
I'll pull right here. Nope.
Yeah. So if you pull up.
Yeah.
On the screen, Dextrainer.
We're here.
So yeah, if you go to the left side,
just under more.
Yeah, under more in the categories for blockchains. Moonshot.
Oh, first one.
Oh, Moonshot. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so I think there were like 120,000 tokens launched so far in just like a few days, or even more than that, which is pretty impressive.
Is this? I think like Danksy, we were talking yesterday about there was some, and maybe this was it, but is this where they'll pledge that'll make it like a pool on Radium if it reaches a certain market cap? Or maybe I'm confusing that.
Kind of, yeah. That's like Pump.Fun, but like on Dex Screener. It's just the Pump.Fun variant. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just like on it's on Dex Screener now, so it's like super easy to trade, I guess. They have their own like tools. But
yeah, I have not
just clicking
yet.
through them, they're all going to zero anyways, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, we looked at the Pump.Fun kind of winners so far, and there's only been a few of them that have kind of come out of Pump.Fun that have actually sustained and been anything. So, these are ultimate, lottery ticket gambling degen kind of tokens. But the accessibility and the ability for anyone to create them, I think, still is what makes this so interesting. And so,
yeah, I believe there was one. Was it Moondog or Mooncat? Some of those that they reached like 20 million plus market cap. They probably went to zero already. I haven't really tracked it, but no, you're right. I mean, if you go to Pump.Fun, I know Michi because I'm in that.
Right.
Community is probably one of the most successful ones. And then you have celebrity tokens like Mother, right, from Iggy Azalea. But yeah, then a few other ones really like Billy. Was Billy also
Billy,
there?
yes. Billy was one that we were looking at here recently.
So not many that actually make it compared to Sharkcat too.
I've had
Sharkcat.
Better.
Billy's chart actually looks pretty nice too.
Yeah. What were you saying, Io?
Oh no, I've had better luck lately with my dabbling my toes when I'm in the meme coin market. Uh, my still different strategy, but kind of in and out. Really is the how I've been more consistently been winning.
Yeah.
Doing that, but it takes some time. You know, I mean, something like that takes a little time. But it's more about like the consistent. I stack it. Doing 10-20% over and over. But yeah. Anyways, and then being very specific.
Yeah,
Filtering.
I rarely buy. I mean, back in the day when the market was very hot, I would maybe buy before the radium, pull on Pump the Fund.
Mm-hmm.
But for the last 2 months, I've waited until it gets to radium to actually buy, right? And I like to look at tokens that go above like 2 to 3 million market cap, because otherwise it's a lot of noise. Yeah, I can make 2, 3, 5x's, but it's just a lot of. It's very time consuming, and the market is not strong enough. So there's going to be thousands of coins. Most of them go to zero. So haven't really bought much on Pump the Fund. So I will take a look at Moonshot, but I don't know. We're gonna have to see the market here improve significantly for me to kind of like dive into all these shitters. There's just too much.
Right. And maybe this. I don't know is a good time or not, but I know at least coming very soon. At least there's gonna be opportunity for a chance for a few members to kind of win and get to use the little some like basically a bot to do some automation kind of meme coin trading and it's a little bit of a tiny bit of a learning curve, but I think it'll be really cool. I've been successful with it, and it kind of the beauty in it is you kind of you make yourself you make filters really, especially for like pumped off fund or new pairs, and those can be based on all kinds of different things, whether it's deployers or verifying socials and stuff like that. But it kind of takes some of the guesswork out of it, and I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be exciting.
Fun. Is that coming up for for Beast NFT holders?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we're ready to go. We just need to put together the giveaway and make it happen. But everything, I mean, ready to go. And the cool part would be too is that they'll have access to be able to use some private nodes so the bonus is you won't have to deal with latency, and you won't have to be kind of bribing or for your transactions or slippage. Which I still find kind of even with some of these web-based bots or whatever. But the beauty is like, it's a really good combination having a bot doing some automation for you, whether it's following wallets or filtering for new pairs or filtering platforms like Pumped Off Fund, but and then having the combination of basically like a private endpoint, so versus just try a public pool. So I think it'll be really cool. I think it'll be exciting. It'll be a good chance.
That's super cool. Yeah, and I can't wait to see it. And I'm sure a lot of members will be excited to try it. Exciting initiative. Is that coming up next week or in the next coming weeks?
I think I will have to double confirm with Danksy, but we'll be like as soon as next week. Ready to go for real. Everything's
wonderful
on the research, testing, and deployment side. Everything's done, and so I mean, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. So we just need to make sure that we get a big enough. We want to make sure everybody's paying attention, right? We got to make sure we got a good enough crowd and give everybody a chance. And we'll do it. Make sure to announce it ahead of time.
Perfect. Cool. So I think we have another 10 minutes here before we close up. So if there's some questions from anyone here listening, you can either pop the questions in the Discord or raise your hand, or even make I believe you can also put a comment here on X, and we'll try to respond them as
top 2 coins, the top one is 5.5 mil market cap, and the second one is 2.3. And there's probably like less than 100 coins that actually get through to the liquidity pool radium situation. So it's still pretty early on. I think most of the volume, probably 95% of it, is still on pumped off fun. But I think it's a good try on their part.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna have to start. I mean, is there any incentive to trade there versus on pumped off fun or not?
I think it's exactly the same. I mean, I think they have a better UI, and it's connected to Dex Screener, so you just go directly to Dex Screener afterwards. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's any incentive on either platform. Pumped Off Fun definitely has the volume.
Okay, and the fees to trade, is that better than using platforms like Photon or what's this one, Bird Eye and all these ones? Is it cheaper or just going directly to Radium? What kind of swap mechanism do they have in there?
I don't go ahead.
I'm
Thanks.
pretty sure Dextrin does not have a swap.
It says liquidity will migrate to Radium once market cap reaches 500.
And Photon charges a fee on top of everything.
Yeah,
but Photon's using Radium anyways.
So Dextrin is like no fee buy and sell.
Dextrin is just like a charting tool. It's like TradingView.
Correct. They're not. Yeah. They're just linking to pools.
I've only used Dextrin for Ethereum, and I was kind of like, I never really liked trading on Dextrin. Part of it is because I probably traded on Ethereum, so I have the the PTSD of paying hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars in fees.
No, it's the same. It's the same fee whether you trade on Radium and Uniswap on Dextrin versus Uniswap. It's the same trading thing.
Right. Like they don't like. Yeah.
Nice.
I want to say that, like, say Dex Tools maybe, which is very similar to Dex Screener, like say for EVM chains and stuff like that, right? Like the only maybe difference is when you go to, say, if you're going to whatever it was to make a swap, it'll give you a link to the whatever pools that are provided, so you can look. Like sometimes you might see a Uniswap pool and a pool somewhere. Maybe somewhere else, or depending on what it was, obviously.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
That's good on it. But
so here's the thing, right?
Like Solana, a lot of it's going on in Jupiter on the back end too, guys. Like a lot, and there. If you go to Jupiter and you like a little, I don't know, pro tip, just even whatever platform you're trading on, if it's Solana and you're trying to swap and stuff like that, I would go and suggest it's not the easiest to get to, but if you just go to Jupiter and go to swap. And you can kind of go in here to manage on your wallet, and you can actually wrap some Solana. I would recommend wrapping a small amount of Solana and just keeping it there in your wallet, because a lot of these swaps actually use a little bit of wrapped Solana. Right. So just a little bit. Same thing too, and also too, the smallest unit in Solana are called land ports. So you can also kind of swap out for land ports, which are, and there's advantages to swap speed too by holding a little bit of that in your wallet. But anyways,
that's very helpful. Yeah, no, definitely. I have never thought about it, but I should definitely have some GrabSol in my wallet. So Teep Noodle says that the first, check it out, it's called First on Moonshot. Was created by Dextrin, but I think the kicker here is that Dextrin retains a large percentage of the supply. So maybe that's because it was their coin. I don't know if they do it with all the other tokens, but that might be what they do. Instead of like taking fees like Pump.Fun, I think they probably retain a percentage of the supply. Is that it, Denksy? Or they also take a percentage on fees?
I have no clue on what their fee is on this. It doesn't say, which is weird.
No pre-sale, no insiders, fixed 1 billion supply. Ownership right now, once market cap reaches 500.
Pump.Fun charges like a 0.2 SOL fee, or like 0.1 SOL fee.
Oh, to create?
Yeah, I don't know what Moonshot does. I've never created one.
Some of those ones on base.
Maybe I'll create one today. I'll let you know. I'll send the link. I'll send the CA.
Yeah. No, I think what's important here is
everyone's
fighting for attention.
0.02 sold to deploy. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's 0.02 is at least to deploy. I don't know what the rake is after that. Anyways, I'm sorry.
It's the exact same thing as pump.fun.
Okay.
Then it's just they just don't have the volume.
They're trying to take. I mean, Dex Screener is probably the most used app in crypto. Like seriously, right? Everyone goes to Dex Screener, whether it's like majors or meme coins, etc. You always have your Dex Screener tab open. Right? And I believe like other platforms like Pump.Fun and Photon, etc. trying to, they were taking some of attention from Dex Screeners. So I think they probably thought, okay, we need to gain that back, right? Because now, all these tools are integrating their own monitors, right, where they can track the market. And so I wasn't really using Dex Screener as much for the last 2 to 3 weeks, and now I think that what we're trying to do is like they're trying to get back that attention, right? Because they really monetize on attention, right? Dex Screener is the tab that you have open always to track your portfolio. At least that's what I did for the last 6 months. So interesting. Yeah. No, I'll dig around this weekend and see if I find anything interesting. But so far it looks like nothing successful has been launched.
Yeah, there's something else we found. I think on a couple weeks back when we were doing a session. I think credit Rotes or Dancy. Basecamp WTF is base like meme coins blast, and now they've apparently added Ethereum. But you very similar can just launch a token.
Yeah.
In a matter.
I mean, they don't have the volume's probably even worse than Pump.Fun than Dex Screener on here.
Yeah, probably true. We'd have to look. Yeah, I would think.
Like you just need eyeballs to see it. Like how are you gonna get 500 SOL if no one is on your site?
True that. That's a good point.
Yeah. Well, do we have any questions from anyone here? Remy, latest Lipper, Chief Noodle, anyone that wants to AP mic. If you guys have any questions, now is the time. Otherwise, we can wrap it up until next week. I know next week actually is July 4th, right? So we'll see how we can make that happen, but we can probably do it earlier or perhaps on Wednesday so that we can do still these weekly reviews and recaps.
I think guys, IO is planning to do one on Wednesday. We did one yesterday and went pretty well. And then Rotes is on the Monday. So we have those two locked in for sure next week.
Very good. Okay. And if anybody forgets in between then and there, right? The Bridge3Labs Twitter account is always a good place to start, right? And find some links and more info if you look for more details, or follow obviously any of our accounts or especially the founders' accounts, and we try to give y'all notifications ahead of time. Obviously schedule in advance because we want all y'all to be here if you can. That's all I got.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon then. Cheers.
Later, guys. Thank you. This was awesome.
Peace. Bye.
Bye.